to call this meeting of the Commission of Zoning Appeals to order for August 11th, 2026. If you could all please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Lisa. Roll call.
Mr. Coleman. Mr. Cooper. Mr. Danduran.
Here.
Ms. Pierce.
Here.
Mr. Luzader.
Here.
Okay, we do have a quorum, so we will move on to any old business. I believe, can you make a motion to bring the variance application B8-26-013 table it?
Yep.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Back on the table, then.
You got to call roll.
Call roll,
Yep.
sorry.
Ms. Pierce.
Yes.
Mr. Luzader.
Yes.
Mr. Danduran.
Yes.
All right.
Petition back on the table.
Yep.
Is that-
Yes. All right. So location, this is at 183 Markway Drive. Lot is 1.48 acres in size, zoned PDD Planned Development District. And the applicant's requesting approval of variance from section 1255.03B of the Pataskala Code to allow for the construction of a fence that will exceed the maximum area allowable under the development tax for the Scenic View Estates Planned Development District. So if you look up here, this is the lot in question outlined in yellow. Markway Drive, the private street, is to the north. And then this is the Hazelwood subdivision down to the south. So the property itself is lot 17 of the Scenic View Estates Phase 1 subdivision. The existing home was built just last year. Scenic View Estates is a planned development district, and in planned development districts, each development is its own unique separate zoning district subject to the adopted development tax. So per the Scenic View Estates development tax that was adopted by City Council along with the rezoning, within that text, the developer put in the provision stating that fencing shall not exceed 400 square feet in area and shall abut the residence or garage. Now, as proposed, the applicant would like to construct a 4-foot tall fence encompassing an area of 1,471.5 square feet. The fence is a gloss black aluminum rail fence and will be at the rear of the home facing south. Here's a look at the site plan that was submitted by the applicant. So we have the lot, the existing house, and on the south side of that house here, we'll get a closer look, the proposed fence here, encompassing 1,471.5 square feet. So in the narrative that was submitted by the applicant, they said that the requested increase is for their 2 dogs and that the increased square footage is more appropriate for the size of their lot. The applicant also believes the request is substantial, but that the essential character of the neighborhood would not be altered. They also believe the request will not be detrimental to the public welfare, not affect delivery of government services, and represents the minimum variance needed to afford relief. And they also stated they were not aware of this specific restriction when the property was purchased. As part of our review, staff would offer the following comments. Section 1255.03B states that each planned development district shall be considered a separate and unique zoning district. The minimum requirements and special standards described in the development text shall be the applicable standards regarding layout, uses, and development of this planned development district. So when the developer of Scenic View Estates proposed their text to Planning and Zoning Commission and then ultimately going to City Council for this rezoning to develop this subdivision, they included the restriction that the fenced-in areas shall not exceed 400 square feet in size. And when the rezoning ordinance was approved, it adopted this development text as the governing zoning document for Scenic View Estates. So because the applicant's proposing 1,471.5 square feet in size, that exceeds the maximum allowable per the development text by 1,071.5 square feet. The restrictions is within that development text. That section basically saying they have to follow the development text. So the applicant's requesting a variance from that section of code to be able to install a larger fenced-in area. Did not receive any comments from any departments or agencies. The Scenic View Estates Homeowners Association submitted a letter stating that they have not approved of the proposed fence through their own architectural review committee. And then we received another letter from the HOA after staff reports were sent out saying the proposed fence remains unapproved by the committee. They're not necessarily opposed to a larger fence area, but the design of the fence itself. Staff would just note that the city does not enforce the HOA rules. We may approve anything that meets our requirements, or in this case, consider a variance from those requirements. The fence meets the minimum requirements of Pataskala code. Otherwise, any discussion on fence design is between the property owner and the homeowners association. Surrounding properties to the north, east, and west are all part of the Scenic View Estates Plan Development District. And to the south is R7 village single-family homes, which are the single-family homes in Hazelwood. There are your findings of fact for an area variance, also printed in your staff report there. So should the board choose to approve the applicant's requests, following conditions may be considered. The applicant obtain all necessary permits from the city of Pataskala within 1 year of the date of approval. And if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
Any questions for staff? Okay, is there Brett or Marcia here?
Yes.
Okay, you want to come up and be sworn in? Please.
And I'll swear you both in. Raise your right hand. Would you swear or affirm the testimony about the case is true, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yep.
Yes, thank you.
You heard staff's report. Do you have anything else you want to add to that?
Yeah, so this has, of course, been an ongoing issue. I've had multiple discussions with Scott. At the time of the purchase of the land, we were informed that it would be 1,000 square feet per acre. I submitted actually an email from Dimitri, the landowner himself, that states the HOA supports 1,000 square feet per acre. The only reason they aren't turned it down is because I submitted the fence, which is a double top rail, single rail bottom, the same as the existing fence. The only other fence in the entire development is on Joe Rick's property on Lot 8. They sent me an email saying it doesn't meet with our vision. Well, HOA doesn't have any fence up around the clubhouse, any common areas. They specifically said, unless you use the Regis brand fencing, we're not approving it. Well, it's not stated in the ARC and it's not stated in the CCR. That's monopolization. They can't specifically request a single brand of fence being used. I sent a picture of the Regis and I sent a picture of ours is Fortress. They're identical. Specifications are identical.
And we followed the laws of the fence requirement, not being chain link, had to be black aluminum.
Black powder coated aluminum.
Powder
Posts
coated,
will be cemented, everything to the guidelines. Their only disqualification was it's not the Regis. And I sent an email asking for documentation. Please provide me documentation that specifically states in the ARC of the CCR that says I have to use the Regis. It's not in there. So Joe Rick's fence is 48 inches high, black powder coated aluminum, not Regis. So I'm wanted to state on record that we are not required to use a specific brand of fencing. The Fortress meets all the qualifications. Therefore, that's the fence that we want to install.
and that's the reason they're denying.
That's why they're denying. I have 3 emails stating that. I've asked repeatedly, please.
Yeah, we're not here to
Correct.
debate.
Correct. I just want to state on a record, that's why they turned it down.
The only thing we're able to do is grant increase
Mhm.
size. That's what we're here
Correct.
to vote on.
Correct.
So,
And they support that. I have the email stated that they support that. Correct.
so we'll go through that process, and anything beyond that, you would have to deal with the HOA on that.
Because we've already paid the fence application, as Scott knows, so they'll just towards the new application for the current date, I guess. Yes.
Any questions? No? Okay. Anything else, Brett?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Call you up if we have any more questions. I've got anyone else to speak on this matter here? Any discussion on this? Yeah, he brought up Mr. Rick's property in question will yield a reasonable return if there can be a beneficial use for this property. Whether there are unique physical circumstances or conditions that prohibit the property from being developed in strict conformity with zoning regulations such as a variance necessary to enable the reasonable use of the property. I don't see any circumstances. Whether the variance requested is substantial, we're gonna have to say yes based on what's approved. Code. Whether the essential character of the neighborhood would substantially be altered, whether adjoining properties would suffer substantial detriment as a result of the variance. I'd say no. Whether the variance if granted will substantially or permanently impair the appropriate use of the development of adjacent property. Whether the variance if granted will be detrimental to public welfare. Whether the variance if granted would adversely affect the delivery of government services, that is not. Whether the property owner purchased this subject property with the knowledge of the zoning restrictions, they stated they did not have knowledge. Whether the property owner's predicament can be obviated through some other method of variance. Whether the variance if granted will represent the minimum variance that would afford relief and represent the least modifications possible of the requirement at issue. I think yes to that. Whether the spirit and intent behind the zoning requirement would be observed and a substantial justice done by granting the variance. I would say yes for that. Okay, so we have yes for A, C, J, okay, and no for B, D, E, F, G, H, I. Someone like to make a motion?
I move to approve variance application EA '26 013 with the following conditions. The applicant shall obtain all necessary permits from the city of Pataskala and the Licking County Building Code Department within 1 year of the date of approval.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll?
Mr. Dandurand,
Yes.
Ms. Pierce,
Yes.
Mr. Luzader.
Yes.
Okay, your variance application's been approved. Good luck with the rest of the process. You can stay for the rest of the meeting, or you can leave. It's up to you.
And Scott, you have the permit already, correct?
Yeah, I'll be in touch with you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
I'd like to make a motion to approve compliance of craft EA 26
Second.
Roll, please.
Mr. Luzader.
Yes.
Ms. Pierce.
Yes.
Mr. Dandurand.
Yes. Move on to new business. Variance application EA 26 018.
The location for this one is 98 Brooksedge Drive East. The zoning is PDD, Planned Development District, and the applicant is requesting approval of a variance from section 1297.02 B2 to allow for a swimming pool to be within the required 10-foot setback from the easement. This is a look at the area map of the property. You have Brooksedge Drive to the south and Taylor Road to the west. The property is about 1 acre in size. the property is 1.194 acres in size and is occupied by about a 2,000 square foot house and a 140 square foot shed to the northeast of the lot, and also occupied by a 600 square foot patio to the rear or north of the house. The lot is covered by a number of easements. To the front or south is a 30-foot unspecified and a 7-foot drainage and sidewalk easement. To the east is a 6-foot unspecified easement. To the west, adjacent to Taylor Road, is a 60-foot landscape and drainage easement. And to the rear is a 10-foot drainage easement. The applicant is proposing to install a 360 square foot in-ground swimming pool, which would be surrounded by a concrete patio connecting to the existing patio at the back of the house. The pool and patio together would be about 20 feet in length and 38 feet in width, about 731 square feet in size total. The setbacks for the pool from the west, adjacent to Taylor Road, the pool would be set back 66.57 feet, and the pool and patio combined would be 62.57 feet. To the rear, the pool would be set back about 24 feet, and the pool and patio together would be about 21 feet setback. And to the east, the pool would be 31 feet setback, and the pool and patio together would be about 28 feet setback. The pool equipment is proposed to be on the east side of the house, about 27 feet setback from the eastern property line. This is a look at the proposed site plan. The pool is up here, surrounded by a concrete patio connecting to the existing patio at the back of the house. A 5-foot fence will enclose the backyard. As mentioned before, a 60-foot easement covers the west side of the lot. The pool and patio is proposed to be set back only 62.57 feet from the western property line, which means it would be set back only 2.5 feet from the easement on the western side of the property. Section 1297.02B2 states that swimming pools and paved areas must be set back 10 feet from easements. The applicant believes that the easement takes up much available space in the yard, and attaching the pool and patio to the existing patio right next to the 60-foot easement is the only feasible area to fit the pool. The pool cannot be moved further from the easement because of the shed and utility lines to the east. The applicant believes that the lot is of adequate size, so proposed improvements will not create a nuisance, and the pool will be consistent with the neighborhood character. And the HOA has reviewed and approved the location of the pool. Staff would like to offer the following comments. As mentioned above, Section 1297.02B2 states that all pools and paved areas must be a minimum of 10 feet from any property line or easement. The western setback of the pool and patio is 62.57 feet, and the western side of the property adjacent to Taylor Road Southwest is covered by a 60-foot landscape and drainage easement. The pool and patio is set back only 2.57 feet from the easement, which is a 74.3% reduction of the requirement. And as such, a variance is requested from Section 1297.02B2. The pool meets all other applicable requirements, and should the variance be approved, the applicant will need to submit for a swimming pool permit with the Planning and Zoning Department. Staff has no other comments, and no other departments or agencies commented. For the surrounding properties, to the north, south, and west are all zoned PDD, Planned Development District, also part of the Brookside subdivision, and are all occupied by single-family homes. And to the east is a mix of Planned Development District, also Brooks Edge, and rural residential, and is a mix of single-family homes and undeveloped land. These are the findings of fact located in your staff report. And in addition, there's an Section 1211.072 allows for other factors to be considered. The additional factor in this case is A, to permit any yard or setback less than the yard or setback required by the applicable regulation. Should the board choose to approve the applicant's request, the following conditions may be considered. 1, the applicant shall obtain all necessary permits from the city of Pataskala within 1 year of the date of approval. And I am happy to answer any questions.
Go back to that map that shows the dimensions. So the 60-foot setback is what?
It doesn't show it. So way over here, it doesn't show the edge of the property line, but way over here on adjacent to Taylor Road, and then the 60-foot easement comes right up very close to the house right here.
So you're saying that they're reducing by 73%.
Yeah, about 74% from having to be set back 10 feet from the easement to only being set back 2.57 feet from the easement.
Sorry. Any questions from staff?
The pool itself will be,
6 feet from the easement.
And it's a landscape easement, correct?
Landscape and drainage.
Landscape. Is Kurt or Vicky Olson here? What do you want to?
I think that'd be the Pratts in this case.
It is, yeah.
Sorry, covered up your own paper. Is Cynthia Pratt here?
Yes.
Okay, so, sorry about that. You want to come up and get sworn in?
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes. Thank you.
Okay, you heard staff's report. Is there anything else you'd like to add to that?
I don't think so. I think it covered it.
Covered it pretty well? Yeah. Any questions? Cynthia? No. Okay. Nothing else, then I'll proceed to sit down and we'll go on. Nothing from other.
Wait.
No,
We have a speaker's request.
there is a speaker request.
Kathleen Wyatt. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do. Thank you.
I am the neighbor directly to the east, and I'm perfectly happy for the pool to go in and the fence. My only concern is the access of the backhoe or the trucks or whatever that's going to come between our two houses. And I am just hoping there will be some sort of demarcation or rope or stakes or something so that those trucks or backhoe or whatever aren't veering over into my side yard.
Okay, no, I appreciate the concern. I think that's something you'll need to probably work out
Okay,
with the homeowner.
okay.
Make sure that you guys got a clear understanding of that, but it sounds like it's not an unreasonable ask.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else to speak on this variance application?
No.
Okay. Any discussion? Alright, we're gonna move to findings of fact for variance application 26-018. Whether the property in question will yield reasonable return or if there is a beneficial use for the property. Yes. Whether there are unique physical circumstances or conditions that prohibit the project being developed in strict conformity with the zoning regulations such as the variance is necessary to enable the reasonable use of the property. I'd say there are unique circumstances that easement's right up to the edge of their house there, so. Whether the variance request is substantial, it is based on our percentage standards. Whether the essential character of the neighborhood would be substantially altered, or the adjoining properties would suffer a substantial detriment as a result of the variance. Let me say no. Whether the variance, if granted, will substantially or permanently impair the appropriate use or development of adjacent property. Say will not. Whether the variance, if granted, will be a detriment to the public welfare. Will not. Whether the variance, if granted, will adversely affect the delivery of government services. Whether the property owner purchased the subject property with knowledge of the zoning restrictions. that you did not have knowledge of the situation. Is that
I don't think they commented on that.
they did not comment on that? Can I ask something?
Yeah, if you'd like, yeah.
Ms. Pratt, were you aware of this?
I was aware of the easement, but not the 10-foot setback.
In that 10-foot setback, okay. Don't say no. Where the property owner's predicament can be obviated through some other method of variance in the state. No. Whether the variance if granted will represent the minimum variance that will afford relief and represent the least modifications possible of the requirement at issue. Let's say yes. We will. Whether the spirit and intent behind the zoning requirement will be observed and substantial justice done by granting the variance. So yes for that. So we have yes for A, B, C, J, K, and no for D, E, F, G, H, and I. Someone would like to make a motion?
I move to approve variance application VA-26-018 with the following conditions. The applicant shall obtain all necessary permits from the state of Pataskala within 1 year of the date of approval.
Do we have a second? Roll, please.
Ms. Pierce?
Yes.
Mr. Luzader?
Yes.
Mr. Vanderan?
Yes. Ms. Pratt, your variance application is approved. Thank you and good luck with your pool project. Again, you can stay if you like. It's up to you.
Can I ask a question?
Yes,
Since I already did the pool permit, do I have to submit another one, or
I think
which one was denied because of the variance?
you don't have to submit another one. I think I can just approve it. Yeah.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve the findings of fact for application VA-26-018 that was just presented. Can I get a second?
Second.
Roll, please.
Ms. Luzader?
Yes.
Mr. Vanderan?
Yes.
Ms. Pierce?
Findings of fact for VA-26-013 are approved. Move on to the next order of business, which is VA-26-019.
The location for this property is 210 Oxford Drive. The zoning is R7, Village Single Family Residential, and the applicant is requesting approval of two variances. One to allow for a swimming pool to be within the required 10-foot setback from the easement, and one to allow for a fence less than 5 feet in height. This is the area map of the property. As you can see, Oxford Drive is to the west. The property is about a third of an acre in size, occupied by about a 2,000 square foot home and a 140 square foot shed to the northeast of the property, and also a 450 square foot deck attached to the home at the rear. The lot is covered by a number of easements. To the rear or east is a 10-foot unspecified, to the south is a 10-foot unspecified, and to the front is a 25-foot unspecified easement. The proposal is to keep an existing above ground swimming pool 18 feet in diameter in the side yard. The pool would be set back 2 feet south of the deck, 10 feet from the southern property line, 80 feet from the front property line, and 60 feet from the rear property line. The pool equipment pad would be located in the 2-foot gap in between the deck and the pool, set back 28 feet from the southern property line. Section 1297.02 B2 states that swimming pools in paved areas must be set back 10 feet from any easement on the property. There is also currently a 4-foot fence enclosing the property. Section 1297.02B4 states that swimming pools must be enclosed by a fence not less than 5 feet in height. This is the site plan of the property. The pool is right here next to the deck, about 10 feet from the southern property line. And the applicant believes that the property characteristics create practical difficulties in locating the pool while maintaining the setback from the easement. Alternative locations were considered and none worked out. They believe that the request will not create a safety hazard as the pool will comply with safety codes and it will minimize impacts to neighbors. Staff would like to offer the following comments. As mentioned above, Section 1297.02B2 states that all pools and paved areas must be a minimum of 10 feet from any property line or easement. The above-ground pool is set back 10 feet from the southern property line. There's also a 10-foot easement on the southern property line, and the pool is set back 0 feet from the easement, which is a 100% reduction of the requirement. And as such, they are requesting a variance from Section 1297.02B2. They had a fence permit issued in April of 2026 for a 4-foot high wooden fence. As mentioned above, Section 1297.02B4 states that swimming pools must be enclosed by a fence not less than 5 feet in height. They are also requesting a variance to reduce the fence height to 4 feet, which is a reduction of 20%. The pool meets all other applicable requirements. And should the variance be approved, the applicant will need to submit for a swimming pool permit from planning and zoning. We have no other comments, and no other departments or agencies have any comments. The surrounding properties to the north and east are R7 Village Single Family Residential as well to the east a little bit of Harrison Township. Those are occupied by single family homes, and to the east also undeveloped land and a church. To the south and west is a mix of R7 and R15 medium high density residential and a mix of single family homes and undeveloped land as well. These are the findings of fact located in your staff report. And in addition, Section 1211.072 allows for other factors to be considered. The factor being considered is the same as the one in the other presentation. Should the board choose to approve the applicant's request, the following conditions may be considered. The applicant shall obtain all necessary permits from the city of Pataskala within 3 months of the date of approval. And I am happy to answer any questions.
Can you go back to that diagram?
Mm.
So, the 10-foot easement, there are pools right on the end of that easement.
Yeah.
So they would have to go all the way. There's really not much room on that side to be able to put them.
No, the deck is only set back a total of 30 feet from the southern property line.
And then, so the existing fence you already have in place is 4 feet from part of the yard, and you have to extend that, is that correct?
They are not. They're requesting a variance.
The fence, the existing 4-foot fence
Yeah.
that they already have in place, is that for the whole property? Does it encompass the whole property?
Yes, with the involvement of neighbors' fences.
Is there any questions for staff?
They got a fence permit in April.
Mm.
Was the pool there at the time?
Not to our knowledge.
No.
Does the fence meet other requirements as a latching, self-latching gate and
That
others that are required?
would be a question for the applicant.
But that is required.
Yes, I would have to have a self-closing gate, and it would have to be able to lock.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, so I now, is Kurt Vicky Olson here? You may come up and get sworn, please.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you.
You heard staff reports
Yes.
On this matter. Do you have anything else to add?
We do have the self-latching fence and everything's complete, yes.
Anything else that
She did a great job.
well covered.
I don't have any questions, but we may call you back up, but you can have a seat.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, no, sorry. Were you aware of that? Thank you. Were you aware of this restriction when you bought the property?
We were aware of the easement, but we didn't know there were restrictions to it.
But we knew of the easement in the back of the property. We butt up against the church and we knew there was an easement back there. We did not know there was an easement on the side of the house where we put the pool.
And we also excavated a little bit, so the 4-foot fence makes it a little higher because it goes down in the ground. The pool sits down in the ground a little bit.
All right, thank you very much. Any other requests on this?
No.
All right, we'll move over to findings of fact for variance application BA-26-019. Whether the property in question will yield a reasonable return, or if there will be substantial beneficial use of the property. I would say yes. Whether there are unique physical circumstances, conditions that prohibit the property from being developed in strict conformity with the zoning regulations such that any variance is necessary to enable the reasonable use of the property. I guess I'm gonna say yes, the variance, easement is unique physical circumstance, condition, whether the variance requested is substantial, 100% yes. Whether the essential character of the neighborhood would be substantially altered, or the adjoining properties would suffer any substantial detriment as a result of the variance. I'm going to say no. Whether the variance is granted will substantially permanently impair the appropriate use or development of adjacent properties. It will not. Whether the variance is granted will be detrimental to public welfare. It will not. Whether the variance is granted will adversely affect the development, the delivery of government services. I'm going to say no to that as well. Whether the property owner purchased the subject property with knowledge of the zoning restrictions. They did not. Whether the property owner's predicament can be obvious through through some other method than variance. Whether the variance is granted will represent the minimum variance that will afford relief and represent the least modification possible of the requirement and condition. I say yes to that. Whether the spirit and intent behind the zoning requirement will be observed and substantial justice done by granting the variance. I think okay, so we have yes for A, B, C, J, and K, and no for D, E, F, G, H, and I. Someone like to make a motion for this application?
I move to approve variance application BA-26-019 with the following conditions. Applicant shall obtain all necessary permits from the city of Pataskala within 3 months of the date of approval.
I have a second.
Second.
Please vote, please.
Mr. Danderian,
Yes.
Ms. Spears,
Yes.
Mr. Luzader.
Yes.
Okay. Variance application VA-26-019 is approved. And Chris, good luck with your poll. Thank you very much. Move to variance application VA-26-030. Only the third time. I make a motion to approve the findings of fact for variance application VA-26-019 that was just reviewed. Can I get a second?
Second.
The roll, please.
Ms. Pierce?
Yes.
Mr. Legator?
Yes.
Mr. Dandria?
Yes. Now we will move on to variance application VA-26-02. Staff, please.
The location of the property is 240 Stone Mast Loop. The zoning is PDD, Planned Development District, and the applicant is requesting approval of two variances, one to allow for a swimming pool to encroach into a drainage easement, and one to allow for a pump and filter installation to be located less than 20 feet from the property line. This is an area map of the property. To the north, we have Stone Mast Loop. To the west, I believe that's Lyndhurst Drive, something like that. And then to the south is Kennedy Road. The lot is about a third of an acre in size, occupied by about a 1,700 square foot house and an 80-foot shed located to the southeast of the lot. The lot has two frontages, Stone Mast Loop to the north and Kennedy Road to the south. And there's a 4-foot fence currently enclosing the backyard. There's a number of easements on the property. To the front or north is a 15-foot unspecified easement, and to the rear or south is a 15-foot water and sewer easement on the property line, a 60-foot landscape easement on the property line, and a 25-foot drainage easement overlapping 15 feet with the landscape easement to create a total of 70 feet of easements. A look at those easements is right here. So on the property line and going to right about here is the drainage easement and landscape easement, and then the drainage easement is from this dotted line to this dotted line up here. The applicant is proposing installation of a 220 square foot in-ground swimming pool with a concrete patio surrounding the pool and connecting to the house. The pool and patio area total would be 41 feet wide and 15 foot long for a total of 615 square feet. The pool and patio together would be set back about 14 feet from the western property line, and the pool alone would be set back about 24 feet from the western property line. To the south on Kennedy Road, the pool and patio would be set back about 68 feet, and the pool itself would be set back about 71 feet. And to the east, the pool and patio together would be set back 21 feet from the eastern property line, and the pool will be set back about 24 feet from the eastern property line. Section 1297.02B2 states that swimming pools and paved areas must be set back 10 feet from the property line and any easements on the property line. The proposed equipment pad for the pool is on the east side of the house, set back 13 feet from the property line. Section 1297.02B2 also states that the pump and filter installations must be located more than 20 feet from the property line. This is a look at the proposed site plan. You've got the pool down here with the patio connecting to the house. And the easement, it's a little hard to see, but the easement starts right here. The applicant believes that the extent of easements limits the usable area of the yard. The pool was intended to provide a recreational amenity. Alternative locations for the pool were considered, and no practical options avoid the easement in the backyard. The neighbor's property to the east also received a variance for a pool in the same drainage easement, and the pool will be enclosed by a 5-foot fence. The applicant did know of the setbacks at purchase, but was not aware of the extent of the easements. Staff would like to offer the following comments. As mentioned above, Section 1297.02B2 states that all pools and paved areas must be a minimum of 10 feet from property lines and easements. The rear yard is covered by a total of 70 feet of easements. The proposed pool is proposed to be set back 70.97 feet from the rear, It will not encroach into the drainage easement. The proposed patio is set back only 67.76 feet from the rear on Kennedy Road and will encroach 2.24 feet into the drainage easement, and as such, a variance is requested from section 1297.02B2. As stated before, section 1297.02B2 also says that pump and filter installations must be set back at least 20 feet from the property line. The proposed pool equipment pad is set back only 13 feet from the property line, a 65% reduction, and as such, a variance is requested from section 1297.02B2. The existing fence is only 4 feet high. The applicant has stated that it will be upgraded to 5 feet in their narrative. A condition of approval has been included to reflect this statement. The pool meets all other applicable requirements. And should the variance be approved, the applicant will need to submit for a swimming pool permit with planning and zoning. The Public Service Department would like to comment that the applicant flagged the outer boundaries of the pool and patio. The Public Service Department went out and inspected it in July, and they have no concerns that the project would negatively impact the drainage easement. However, if the pool and patio do cause drainage or flooding issues, the applicant is responsible for addressing the issue, and the city reserves the right to enforce the removal of the pool and patio if necessary. No other departments or agencies commented. The surrounding properties to the north, east, and west are all PDD Plan Development District, as well as the west also backs up onto Blacklick, and all of them are covered by single-family homes. To the south is a mix of R20, medium-density residential, and PM, planned manufacturing, and that land is undeveloped. These are the findings of fact located in your staff report. And in addition, section 1211.072 allows other factors to be considered. The factor is the same as the two before. Should the board choose to approve the applicant's request, the following conditions may be considered. 1, the applicant shall obtain all necessary permits from the city of Pataskala within 1 year of the date of approval. And 2, a fence 5 feet in height and with a self-closing gate shall be installed to enclose the backyard. And I am happy to answer any questions.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony about the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes.
You've heard the staff report. Anything else you'd like to add to that?
I don't think so.
Good. You understand the conditions of the intimate drainage easement. If there's any issues, you guys have to remedy it or pay for it. It's your responsibility to remove the concrete or whatever it may take to address those.
Yes.
All right, thank you, Jody.
Thank you.
Yes.
Ready to the findings of fact. Okay, findings of fact for VA -26-020, whether the property in question will yield reasonable return, or if there can be a beneficial use of the property. Say yes. Whether there are unique physical circumstances or conditions that prohibit the property from being developed in strict conformity with the zoning regulations such that a variance is necessary to enable the reasonable use of the property. Yes, the large drainage easement in the backyard does provide condition. Whether the variance requested is substantial, I'm going to say no. The pool equipment's a little further closer than it should be. Whether the essential character of the neighborhood would be adversely altered, or the adjacent properties would suffer a substantial detriment as a result of this variance. I would say no to that. Whether the variance granted would substantially or permanently impair appropriate use for development of adjacent property. They will not. Whether the variance if granted will be a detriment to the public welfare. It will not. Whether the variance if granted will adversely affect the delivery of government services. Obviously will not. Whether the property owner purchased the subject property with the knowledge of the zoning restrictions. I'm gonna say no, because she knew of it, but not to that extent that it was, that she would be that far away. Where the property owner's predicament can be evaluated through any other method other than variance. Let's say no to that. Whether the variance is granted will represent the minimal variance that will afford relief and represent the least modifications possible of the requirement at issue. And I believe it will. Whether the spirit and intent behind the zoning requirement would be observed and substantial justice done by granting the variance. And I believe it will. So we have yes for A, B, J, K, and no for C, D, E, F, J, G, H, and I. So, someone like to make a motion?
I move to approve variance application VA-26-020 with the following conditions. The applicant shall obtain all necessary permits from the city of Pataskala within 1 year of the date of approval. And 2, a fence 5 feet in height with a self-closing gate shall be installed and enclose the entire backyard.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Take a roll, please.
Mr. Luzader,
Yes.
Mr. Danderian,
Yes.
Ms. Pierce.
Yes.
Variance application VA-26-020 has been approved. Good luck with your pool. And any other business? Findings of fact. Yes. Make a motion to approve the findings of fact of VA-26-020 as just went through. Second.
Second?
Roll, please.
Mr. Danderian,
Yes.
Ms. Pierce,
Yes.
Mr. Luzader.
Yes.
Okay. Any other business?
Excuse of absence from the July 14th, 2026 meeting from Mr. Danderian.
I have a motion to approve the absence of Mr. Dandrian for the meeting on July 14th, 2026. Can I get a second?
Second?
Roll.
Ms. Pierce,
Yes.
Mr. Luzader,
Yes.
Mr. Danderian.
Okay. Next, I'd like to approve meeting minutes from the July 14th meeting as written and part of your packet. Can I get a second? Roll, please.
Mr. Luzader,
Yes.
Mr. Danderian,
Yes.
Ms. Pierce.
Yes.
Now, any other business for the board?
You want to talk about the schedule or?
Yeah, I was just gonna mention, we highlighted that when we made the schedule. I didn't take into account Labor Day was the council Monday, which means Monday's off. Council moves to Tuesday, which conflicts with our meeting. So we're gonna move that, if we have one, to Wednesday, September 9th.
So if you're unable to make it, just let us know.
Mm-hmm.
Then I make a motion to adjourn this meeting. Can I get a second?
Second?
Roll, please.
Mr. Danderian, Mr. Luzader.
Yes.
Ms. Pierce.
Yes.
We're done. Good job.